Thanks for joining us, Ellen. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, Coach. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. So, should we get into it? Do you want to start by telling me about how B Exhibitions was formed?
Yeah.
And just start from the very start of the journey.
Very start of the journey. Okay, very start of the journey. I guess I should start with how I came into the industry. I was left college. I didn't want to go to uni. I was done with education. I just wanted to earn money, you know. Was working at full-time at the pub that I had been working part-time. After 6 months I was like, right, okay, I need to find something that's a bit more engaging. Ended up going to a recruitment consultant who then put me in touch with a job locally to me that was a trainee project manager for a firm that builds stands for trade clients. It opened me up to this world of the exhibitions industry, and I absolutely fell in love with it because it's a mad industry full of mad ideas and mad lead times and deadlines, and just having to be, you know, organised and on it. And it was a chance to go around the country, go around the world with it, and I just fell in love with it. And I also realised I'm really good at project managing and I'm really good at being organised, so I thought, hello. That was my introduction to the industry. Growing up, I'd always seen my dad own his own business, be quite successful. I always wanted to own my own business after seeing that, and I never knew what it was in. I was stayed with the company I was with for a few years. Brilliant company, amazing company. They are now my supplier. They are a fantastic company, I love them dearly. But unfortunately I couldn't get any further than I wanted to with them, so then I left. I went to an event organiser, so I saw another side of the industry. Wasn't necessarily the right side for me, but it was the best move I made, because when I was working there I thought, I know what I want to do, I know what I want my business in, I will love this industry, I know I'm good at it, I'm going to set up big exhibitions, it turned out to be, and I'm going to start talking to clients and actually help them deliver an exhibition stand and help them be stress-free through the process, and just let them exhibit. And I've loved it, and I haven't looked back.
I think it makes a big difference when you have someone in your family who's done it before, and you see the freedom that they live their life with. It almost encourages you to, from a very early age, replicate that freedom, if not better it. What I mean by freedom is, I'm sure Dad worked really hard.
He really did, I had a good childhood, can't complain, but like you say, it's just...
But it gives you the freedom. So, B Exhibitions, you formed, you've left the event organiser. Talk to me about the struggles that, as a business owner from day one. What everyone thinks, got a new business, great. What they don't see is what actually goes on behind the scenes. So talk to me a bit about that. You know, being your first business on your own. Maybe a bit of fear from your two employers ago, because they might be thinking, what's Ellen doing? Now obviously you work collaboratively. What was going through your mind at the time?
I mean, to be fair, I did have a conversation with them before I did it, and I did say, this is what I'm thinking, what do you think? And they went, well, do it, because obviously I had that conversation of, you guys would be my supplier, or one of the suppliers, and what do you reckon? And they were very supportive, which was great. But obviously I had no credibility really in the industry. I had credibility with my former clients, but now my former clients were my competitors. So it's not like I could go, I can do you a stand, because they're going, well, what? No, you're now my competitor. So I actually had no visibility in the industry or credibility as such, apart from the peers that I'd already been in conversation with. So that was always also quite interesting. I think a lot of people, when they start their own business, they already have a client base to work with, so they kind of work with that. My advantage was that I was at an age where I could move back home. I didn't have a mortgage, I didn't have a partner, didn't have kids, so didn't have any financial dependencies.
How old were you when you started?
22.
Okay, so I started at 21.
I remember when we found out.
So we have that sort of, what I say to people young that are looking to start their own businesses, if your parents can put a roof over your head,
do it.
You might have sacrificed social life, but go all in. Don't try and run it whilst having a full-time job, because it's never going to take off. I've seen something quite interesting actually recently on Dragon's Den. Steve Bartlett obviously is on there now, and he looked to invest in his business the other day, but the guy's got a job, and he said, how can I invest in your business if you're not investing in it yourself? And I think a lot of people, when they're young, they think they can lock down a full-time job and have this side hustle. Well, the thing is, you're not able to grind like you should be. So it's really good that we both had the opportunity to go all in.
Absolutely.
And with the support of those around us.
Absolutely, yeah. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without the support of everyone around me. And luckily, in the first week of B Exhibitions, my supplier had an end client inquiry, so they passed it to me, which was really lovely. So I actually had a first job in my first week. I did also go to Greece the first week. That was probably a bad idea, but it was lovely. I took my laptop, I was working, so it was all good. And then yeah, it's just one of my old bosses. He went, "You need to go networking." Never done networking before. Never knew what networking was. I obviously researched some groups and then ended up going networking, and that's actually we obviously met at networking. And yeah, the business has just kind of grown quite organically, I suppose, in that respect. I was doing cold calling to begin with. I think I remember my first week, I sat there with my laptop and my mobile and I went, right, let's call some people, thinking I'm going to hate this. And you know, I built up a bit of a thick skin, which I'm sure you guys are aware of, the thick skin that you have to build up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard work. It's definitely, like you say, you need to go all in. You cannot have a distraction. I mean, I did have, just to keep some income coming in, I did go back to a pub and did, a few night shifts just to keep that, and then through the 9 to 5 do the cold calling, do the sales. So yeah, I think it was hard work, but it paid off. And yeah, 5 years later down the line, I've now got a business that I'm very proud of.
Exactly.
Managed to survive COVID. Not sure how, but managed to survive COVID.
We'll come on to that in a second. When was your first win?
First win.
First win where you sat down and maybe not that first job in the first week.
No.
But that first sort of moment where you went, I'm onto something here.
I think it was so I started the business end of May, and I had my first full install where I actually spoke to the insurers and was like, right, I need public insurance, liability insurance now, because I've actually got my first install. And that was for October, and I think I got the contract signed in August. So yeah, that was my first kind of, I've managed to get a stand all on my own, and it's a really cool stand, and it's a really big stand, and they're a really cool client. So yeah, I think
at that moment you build this sort of faith in yourself. And I can do this.
Yeah.
I've got this.
Yeah, and also it kind of helps with, not that I was probably, well, no, I did have the social channels there, but you then thought, actually, I've got a stand that I can share, and it's not just concepts, and it's not just, we can do this and this and this. It's actually, we've done this, and yeah, like I say, adding credibility to the brand. So.
Fast forward 3 years from day one.
Yep.
COVID.
Woo!
Talk about what happened firstly in the industry before what happened to you. Because obviously a lot of people were affected.
Yep.
Your industry more so than anyone.
Yeah.
We're a big fan of exhibitions. We think they're a great way of marketing our business. We go to quite a few ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was a gap for us as an exhibitor.
Mm-hmm. But
I guess it was a complete hole for the industry.
Yeah, complete hole. That's a very polite way of putting it. I think because, again, in any recession or anything, but obviously with the pandemic it was slightly worse and large gatherings were cancelled almost overnight. We were hit. I think we saw it probably a couple of weeks before lockdown came in. We were seeing the effects of it. A couple of the large events that are globally large events, they were in the middle of building the show and it got pulled. And I think we were going, oh, okay, what was happening then? I mean, overnight I pretty much saw an order book of £60,000 wiped. So that was a little bit, ooh, okay. What do I do then? Middle of March. I think my last I was last on site 12th March 2020. I think that was it. And
what was your overall feel from your peers as well in the industry? What was the conversation that you were having? I know there was a lot of LinkedIn about support the exhibition industry.
There was.
But I think a lot of people post when something goes on, okay, and even with what's going on today, you know, a lot of people like support Ukraine, etc. But everyone can type a message. I'm a firm believer of actions.
Yeah.
So what was going on in the industry? How were you supporting each other? What were the genuine actions that were being conducted?
I think it pulled us together as an industry. The trouble is with the exhibitions industry, and it was well documented through exhibition news and conference news, which are the publications of the industry, that we're quite a fragmented industry, and with the SIT codes in particular, the government don't necessarily recognise us as an independent industry, so we fall under, that's why we were falling under arts and culture and travel, and we're going, no, we're a whole separate section from that, and we weren't seeing the support. And so obviously the Nightingales took the venues, fine, they were needed, but yeah, we weren't seeing, you know, obviously hospitality was getting a lot of support, travel and tourism was getting a lot of support, and you were going, we're a massive part of the economy. I think I think events and exhibitions, which obviously includes festivals and things, I think we were at £36 billion contribution to the UK economy, and we're going, where's our recognition here? But as an industry, we pulled together. I got involved in a group, and we were all supporting one another. And obviously, we saw some casualties, which was really sad. We saw a lot of businesses go. We saw a lot of people made redundant and have to move out of the industry. But the ones that kind of we clung on, and we tried to help each other as much as possible, and a lot of it was just talking, because we weren't doing anything. Literally, we weren't doing anything. Admittedly, it was a lovely summer, and I had the best time that I've had for a few years, and had my first holiday for a long time. But it was a case that we just had to keep talking, because I think if we didn't keep talking, I think it would have been a lot worse. Just for people's mental health more than anything.
Yeah.
Our livelihood, and a lot of us do it. Okay, yes, it's hard work, but we love what we do. And we've come back with a kind of invigorated love of what we do, because we're not sat in an office every day doing the same thing. We're not, you know, or every day is something different. Every project involves something different, and it's just that creativity that keeps going. So it was a case of, you know, we need to band together. There were glimmers of hope, and obviously it was always dashed. So yeah, for a good 18 months it was twiddling thumbs in the exhibition world, and yeah, just trying to just survive basically.
And now we're back.
Yes.
Exhibitions are back.
Yes.
And probably more in the media than ever. You know.
Yeah.
I was told something throughout the pandemic actually, and that was the businesses that go, of course that's sad, they're going to go, but we have to be slightly selfish in this hour and understand that businesses are also going to benefit at the end of this pandemic.
Yeah.
And from speaking to you, I can imagine the way the exhibition is at the moment, it's probably at all-time best, and the way you're operating.
Yeah,
so talk to me about the high now, what you're experiencing, what kind of inquiries you're having, and sort of where you're finding yourself in the market segment at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking before, and it does feel like B Exhibitions has levelled up. So we're now talking to bigger companies, we're now getting better inquiries, we're getting better budgets. I think there's a combination of people haven't spent the marketing budget of events for the last 18 months, so they have that little bit more to spend, but people are more willing to have those conversations. People are also desperate to get back out face to face. I know remote working is still a thing, hybrid working, etc., but people they want to talk. And exhibitions, the attendances are great throughout the events that we've been to. I haven't had an exhibitor say they've had a bad show, whereas compared to some of the virtual events they were so difficult to get worthwhile conversations that they're just desperate to get back in front of people. So yeah, like I say, the inquiries are so much better, and just people wanting to get back out there, which is great. I can't complain. And there seems to be, like you say, there are some losers obviously that unfortunately lost some companies, but it has opened up a bit of a opportunity for those of us that managed to hang on, and either being referred to from people that were previously in the industry going, look, I'm not longer in it, but speak to this person, or just those that are also reaching out going, actually we want to use someone more local. I've had a couple of them where they've lost someone maybe further afield, their stand builder, and they've just searched locally and gone, actually kind of want to use someone a bit more local, a bit more a bit more amenable, a bit more kind of approachable. I don't know if approachable is probably the wrong word, but yeah, it's interesting to, and I think where people have been locked away at home, they're willing to have those conversations more. I don't know if you're finding it in the calls and things that actually they kind of want to talk to their stand builder. They want to talk to and go, well, you know, what's going on? And there's been a whole change as well with sustainability in the industry, and exhibitors wanting to know more about your sustainability practice, what materials are you using, how are you kind of keeping this ongoing and keeping it as cost effective and also environmentally friendly as possible. So yeah, it just seems like people are just more open to have those conversations. And
I think what we found anyway is people are more customer service orientated
Absolutely,
now, rather than before they were very price orientated. It baffles me still to this day. You phone a lot of these large utility companies and you can't get through because due to circumstances the offices are shut. Well, come on, we've passed it now. You know,
so frustrating.
I don't know how they're still doing that, but what I'm finding is people want to work with people, and relationships are massively key to the question of price. You know, people don't ask that now until after they understand what you do and you understand what they need. Then they don't come with the price.
Absolutely, actually, I would agree with that. You're totally right. I think, just from having those conversations, people want to have a conversation. They don't want just a transactional relationship. They want that. Let's build trust with you. Let's work together. Which is what I've always wanted B to be. I've always wanted to be that thing where I don't just provide you a stand. I actually want to work with you. I want to learn about your business. I find it really interesting. The clients I have, what they do, I love chatting to them on site, going, so what are you doing? How does it work? And and it's just a nice insight into something different. So it's I think I would agree with that.
No, that's great. So part of this series is we want to know about marketing in different industries. Okay, so we've got various guests joining from different industries. Your industry is the exhibition industry, and what we have here is our roulette wheel. And we've got questions. You can win a prize if you land on 0. But basically, we just want to spin it 5 times. We've got a marketing related question for whatever number you land on. And then I want you to discuss it from your experience, not from anyone else's experience. Alright, whenever you're ready.
Alright, okay. I will try and not. One red 5.
What have we got?
11.
11. So, what do you find is the biggest challenge when it comes to generating new business?
Biggest challenge. Sometimes I think possibly it's me.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel like even though I have built credibility and the brand is known and things like that, I think sometimes I think, I'm still an unknown and why would anyone take the risk on it? But I mean, and also I've streamlined processes since becoming busier, and I know we've obviously had a conversation on how we work better. I think a lot of the block was me just not getting on and doing stuff. I think sometimes also my biggest challenge actually, so if I do get a lead, if I don't build the rapport, I don't necessarily, I pretty much will kind of say, I'm not going to get this because I haven't built the rapport, and it goes back to that actually you want that customer conversation, you want that human touch. And even though I do, like every lead I get in, I try and give them a call. I don't just work off email. I go, right, let's have a call, let's have a chat, learn a bit more about you, what you want. So I think if I don't get that rapport, I know I'm probably not going to get in, but that's probably my biggest barrier when I'm...
I think that's interesting, rapport is so key. Almost to a point, if someone doesn't want to build a rapport for us and they just want to phone us and ask what our price is, put the phone down. This isn't Argos, we don't have a catalogue.
Number 29,
we want to work with people that want to work with us. And so when someone just comes for a price, it's your industry especially, they probably have a friend who owns an exhibition stand construction company. Their MD's gone, go and get 3 quotes, and their friend always gets the work, or that relationship always gets the work. It gets to a point where it's like you just ask for a price. Do you know what? I don't want to service this. You go find someone else. And you mentioned that as well. A lot of people, they come for a quote. Next thing you know, they're gone.
Which is fine. It's absolutely fine, because if any of my clients did that as well, I'd understand that part of their due diligence process get 3 quotes, but I'd always like to think I've actually got a really good relationship with them that I will keep.
There's nothing wrong getting quotes going, but at least try to build a relationship and understand the company you're getting a quote from. Interesting. Next one.
Okay, we'll have to spin the ball first. I wasn't a very fast spin. It was slow spin. I'll do it a little bit. Like, the ball's still going. 19.
19. What different channels do you use for lead generation at the moment?
I'm really bad at email marketing. The bits I do, the bits you do are all good. I obviously use your lead machine for telemarketing. I post on socials. I manage to get work through socials, especially LinkedIn. I wouldn't say I actively try and sell on LinkedIn. It's more that someone sees a post and then will go, oh, okay, maybe we'll contact you. But yeah, mostly telemarketing, that's where I would say. And again, there's been some referral, word of mouth, through networking, etc. But yeah, mostly telemarketing.
Telemarketing, interesting. Yeah. Next one?
Yep. Fastest thing. I did the ball wrong.
16. What are the 3 biggest pain points for companies you work with?
Okay.
When they come to you, why are they using you or someone like you?
Yeah. Working with me, especially first-time exhibitors or people that are looking to use exhibitions more in their marketing but are a bit unsure of how to do it. So they kind of lean on me for, in your experience, what's worked? In your experience, do we do this? Do we need this? Do we? So, and I get more of those questions actually, which is quite nice. So it's kind of that, you know, I'm the expert.
Yeah.
Not the expert, no one's an expert, I don't believe, but you know, I know my field, so they lean on that. Another pain point is time. Exhibiting is expensive. Marketing managers are busy as it is. Then to try and fit an exhibition stand on top, they kind of just want one point of contact that can just deal with it all. And I like to think that I am that one point of contact. I can, you know, get the design, build, electrics, Wi-Fi, carpet, all of that. They just talk to me. They don't have to talk to about 5 different people to get it organised. And then the third one, probably trust. I think exhibitions is obviously so expensive for a lot of people. And they kind of want that trust that, especially if they are exhibiting, they have a full show calendar, they want the same style, you know, they just want their stand with one person and it gets taken, installed, broken down. They don't have to worry about it, they know it's in good hands and they can just relax and go, right, okay, instead of going, right, we need to book that show and then organise a stand builder, they go, right, well, they've got our stand, we want this configuration, we're going to that show and that's it. Instead of going, we have to stress about getting it all organised. I think that's another one for those that exhibit quite a few times a year. That just want that all in one kind of turnkey solution.
Okay, cool. Next one.
Cool. I feel like I'm chatting too much on each question.
No. The more value, the better.
Cool. Oh, it's not 0.
What is it?
It's not 0. 23.
23. What system do you use to track and log your deals? Ooh. Do you have a process? Do you sort of, you know, how do you sort of track your pipeline? Do you use a CRM?
I should do, I don't. I actually, my proposal software, I actually use to track a lot of it. Because everything I write, apart from if it's just small things that are just, I'll do an email quote, but everything gets a proposal written. And that's quite, I like that. Because it also tracks what people are reading, which page, and how long they've spent, and when they last looked at it, and I can send reminders quite easily. And other than that, just because I am quite a visual person, I've got a custom whiteboard next to me that's all branded, it's lovely. And on there I've got my pipeline of what's confirmed, who needs a nudge, and what shows on the target.
Yeah.
So
for some people that's the best, because you have it there, you can see it, it's right there, it's in front of you, you can literally move it through the deal processes as and when you like. Alright, cool. And lastly, 22.
Yeah.
So when implementing a new marketing strategy or thinking about a new method of marketing, what's your process?
I kind of go, I've done a few different things, so I have done some lumpy mail before which seemed to work. Again, I worked with you on that one, didn't I? Which it did work to a point. I think it feels like a very grown-up question that I'm not really asked. I haven't really thought about properly. Obviously, testing. You need to obviously test every marketing strategy you do. There's probably one thing I need to look at more is new marketing strategies. At the moment, it's kind of I'm just rolling with what's working. But yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't really know. It's a bit of a crappy answer though, wasn't it?
No? Yeah, it's good because do you know what it is? It's a real answer.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's about, you know, not everyone's got an answer for everything.
No, oh gosh.
But I'm hoping you have an answer for my final question that I want to ask you. So I want to give away some value to someone watching this.
Okay.
Now, I've been to exhibitions where, for example, IT firms, they bring their techies along, who are great people, to do a great job. In my opinion, they don't belong at an exhibition.
No.
You then have your Jordan Belfort Primark wannabes who will sell you the world, and you walk away from that stand going, okay. And then you have your sort of, they don't even speak on stands. They're there, and I normally set with large corporates where they send a team down. And I'd love to see the MD's reaction if they were actually there, or the marketing director's reaction to see what their teams are doing. So from all the exhibitions you've done internationally, and in the UK, what are your top 3 tips for a marketing director or manager when briefing their team about how to act at an expo?
I mean, there are companies that do this amazingly anyway. Like, you can hire, there's one company, Expo Stars, they're very good. They come in and train people for them, but at the end of the day, an exhibition, yes, you're there to make sales eventually, but you're not there to make sales on the day, because no one turns up. You're there to meet decision makers. You're there to basically start that conversation. And I think that's where, especially the smaller kind of chamber events, a lot of people get a bit confused, like, we need to sell, and you go, no, your return of investment is after the event. You're there to advertise and get brand awareness, and you're there to be put in front of that audience that you can speak to that you ordinarily wouldn't have access to. So I think my 3 top tips is, don't send your pushiest salesperson.
The Primark Jordan Belfort.
Don't send them. To be fair, marketing teams are probably the best people to send, because they know the product, service, because that's what they do. They are marketing all the time. They are the people that are there to talk about the business.
They know the right questions.
They know the right questions. They know what they need to then pass on to the sales team. Technical people are fantastic to have on a stand, because if you are, I mean, the likes of some of my clients, they sell something that is very technical, and they will have people that want to come on and talk the tech side. So it is always great to have those people as well. But another top tip is book appointments. If you are attending a show and you've got potential clients are coming along, why not get in touch with them and say, come to our stand and we'll have that conversation. But don't send your top salesperson that's a real hard sell. Basically, don't do hard sell on stand. No one's interested in hard sell.
And don't do no sell.
So it's a fine balance.
There is.
Laptops and computers, unless they're part of a demo, are off the stand.
I think what's really key, from what my experience is, when people really succeed at exhibitions, is when they don't just see the exhibition as the event. No. They have a strategy for before the event, and then they have a strategy for thereafter of the event, and that's the people that I see they convert the most.
Absolutely.
Because they're given that information, they had a touch point prior to the exhibition, and then afterwards they can then go and have their meeting that they need to have.
And all you need to do is, I mean, you see companies spend thousands and thousands on an exhibition stand, and like I say, they send the wrong person, and to be honest, you don't need to spend thousands on an exhibition stand. You need something, obviously, with a bit of branding, but you just need to be prepared to have a conversation. You need to be prepared to go, how's the show going? How are you finding it? You just need that. That's what you need in it.
Just a bit of genuine conversation.
Again, it harks back to, it's not all about price. We want that human touch. We want that service. So.
No, I think that's great. Thanks for joining us, Ellen. A lot of content there, and I think the key message to take away from this is, when you're at an exhibition, have genuine conversation with people, and I guess, don't have a motive.
No.
Just be open, because they could potentially they could benefit you. You never know what they're. So no, but really appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers.